What if I told you that the most visited country in the world might actually be the one you want to avoid next year? That the place millions dream of seeing in their lifetime could very well be the biggest travel mistake you make in 2025? This isn't fear-mongering. It's a reality more and more travelers are waking up to. And by the end of this video, you might feel the same way. America has always carried a certain magic. From the golden lights of New York to the cinematic sprawl of Los Angeles, the country has long been a bucket list powerhouse. People from around the globe save up for years to experience the American dream firsthand. But something's shifted. And fast. Let's start with something that seems small on the surface but sets the tone for everything else. Entering the country has never been more of a hassle. For travelers from countries without visa-free access, a new visa integrity fee has quietly been introduced. It's not pocket change. This policy, rolling out in 2025, adds an extra $250 to your visa application. That's $250 before you've even booked a flight or hotel. Multiply that by a family of 4, and you're paying an additional $1,000 just to be considered. It's no wonder many travelers are reconsidering where to go. But it doesn't stop at money. Border experiences are deteriorating too. There have been rising reports of electronic device searches at U.S. airports, especially for travelers coming from Asia, the Middle East, and parts of Africa. People have had their phones held, their laptops reviewed, and in some cases been turned around despite holding valid visas. And even for travelers from friendly nations like the United Kingdom or France, long queues, rude interrogations, and inconsistent screening have made entry a stressful ordeal. Now let's talk safety. A growing list of countries is updating their advisories for the United States. Canada, for instance, now warns citizens about violent crime in urban areas, specifically flagging risks related to gun violence, drug trafficking zones, and large events that could become flashpoints. Australia and the United Kingdom have similar notes. This isn't paranoia. These are official government warnings. For many tourists, especially those traveling with family, safety is non-negotiable. And even if the odds of something happening are statistically low, the fact that it needs to be mentioned at all is enough to plant doubt. You might think this is all media spin, that people are still visiting regardless. But the data says otherwise. In 2024, foreign arrivals to the United States dipped noticeably. And in 2025, we're already seeing signs that those numbers are continuing to slide. Major travel platforms like Expedia and Booking Holdings have reported a significant drop in searches and bookings from international markets to the U.S., especially from Canada, Germany, and France. According to Peter Kern, CEO of Expedia, international traffic into the U.S. is just not recovering the way other destinations are. That's not anecdotal. That's hard data. And it makes sense. When travelers are choosing between equally stunning destinations, why would they pick the one that's harder to enter, more expensive, and statistically riskier? Take Japan, Portugal, or Costa Rica, for example. All three are seeing record highs in tourist satisfaction. Meanwhile, America is seeing headlines about mass shootings, airport chaos, and visa policy debates. Now layer in cost. Travel has always required budgeting. But in 2025, America is becoming one of the least cost-effective destinations globally. Beyond the visa fee, you've got inflated accommodation prices, unpredictable tipping culture, and hidden fees everywhere, from rental cars to resort taxes. A trip that might have cost $3,000 pre-pandemic is now easily exceeding $5,000 for a mid-range 2-week holiday. And the value isn't necessarily improving. In fact, many visitors report that for all the money spent, the experience feels rushed, impersonal, and more transactional than transformative. It doesn't help that the country itself is going through some serious internal friction. Government shutdowns, labor strikes, and public protests are no longer rare occurrences. In January 2025, the U.S. federal government entered a brief shutdown that disrupted air traffic services, slowed immigration processing, and delayed public facility operations, including national parks and museums. Imagine flying across the world to see the Grand Canyon, only to find the visitor center closed and access limited. That's not just disappointing, it's travel ruining. Another overlooked factor is the vibe. There's an undeniable tension in the air in certain parts of the country. Political polarization has intensified. Social discourse feels strained. While most American locals are still warm and welcoming, travelers have reported a rise in uncomfortable interactions, ranging from aggressive questioning to overt cultural insensitivity. That doesn't mean it's everywhere, but it adds to the unease, especially when stacked on top of all the other challenges. And here's where it all adds up. Travel is supposed to be joyful. It's supposed to be expansive, relaxing, and memorable for the right reasons. But in 2025, more and more of the headlines about visiting America are negative. Higher costs, lower satisfaction, more restrictions, fewer tourists. Now, don't get me wrong, the US still has world-class experiences. The Grand Canyon isn't any less grand. New York still buzzes with unmatched energy. And there are countless communities, national parks, and hidden gems that absolutely deserve to be explored. But when you zoom out and compare the full picture to what other countries are offering in 2025, it's a much harder sell. And if you're someone who only gets to travel once a year or once a lifetime, it's not unreasonable to want your time and money to go further. So before you book that flight, pause. Do a little more research. Ask yourself, is this the best choice right now? Because while America might still be on your list, this year may not be the year to check it off. And sometimes, waiting can lead to a far better experience. Subscribe for smarter travel advice, and like if this helped your decision. Let's say you've made the decision to skip the United States this year. What now? The good news is, skipping one destination doesn't mean sacrificing a great trip. In fact, by looking beyond America in 2025, you might just unlock a better, richer travel experience altogether. One of the smartest things you can do right now as a traveler is to look where the world is heading, not just where it's been. According to the most recent trends, destinations like Japan, Portugal, Vietnam, and Colombia are seeing massive surges in both first-time visitors and returning travelers. And the reasons are crystal clear. Take Japan. After reopening post-pandemic with clear and traveler-friendly policies, it's become a global favorite once again. Public transport is spotless, safety is world-class, and the cultural experiences, from Kyoto temples to Tokyo nightlife, are both immersive and deeply respectful. In 2025, you can spend 2 weeks in Japan, eat like royalty, sleep in design-driven boutique hotels, and still pay less than what a mid-range American trip might cost. Add to that a national rail pass and efficient transit system, and the whole country becomes your playground, without needing a rental car or worrying about urban crime. Or look at Portugal. From Lisbon to Porto to the Algarve coast, this is a country where value meets beauty. It consistently ranks as one of Europe's most affordable destinations without sacrificing charm. In 2025, tourism here is thriving not just because of affordability, but because of how well it's been integrated with local culture. Unlike the American mega-resort model, Portugal leans into local flavor, sustainability, and slow travel. You're not just a tourist, you're a guest. If you're more drawn to adventure or natural beauty, Vietnam is a sleeper hit for 2025. It's one of the few countries where your travel budget stretches to luxurious levels, even on modest means. The food is outstanding, the landscapes are cinematic, and the hospitality is legendary. Plus, Vietnam's digital visa system is among the fastest and most traveler-friendly in Southeast Asia, making it easy to plan, book, and explore without unnecessary friction. Then there's Colombia. Just 10 years ago, it wouldn't have been on many mainstream travel lists. But now, cities like Medellin, Bogota, and Cartagena are drawing global travelers with a mix of innovation, heritage, and affordability. Medellin, once seen only through the lens of its difficult history, has become a thriving hub of creativity, green spaces, and remote work culture. The climate is spring-like year-round, the coffee is fresh from the source, and the culture is vibrant and proud. Colombia in 2025 feels like what Bali was in the early 2010s, a rising gem with soul and momentum. So while America is busy raising fees, navigating political storms, and turning away curious visitors with bureaucratic red tape, the rest of the world is opening up. They're investing in infrastructure, simplifying entry processes, and creating experiences that feel personal, affordable, and fulfilling. And let's not forget, travel isn't just about a place. It's about the feeling it gives you. The way a street food stall in Hanoi can make you feel more alive than a five-star meal in Vegas. Or how watching the sunset over Lisbon's rooftops can be more moving than a $100 view from a Manhattan hotel. That's what travel is really about. Moments. Meaning. And those don't always come with the most expensive price tags or the most hyped destinations. Now, if you're American or live nearby and still want to explore your country, that's completely valid. The US still has plenty of magic. This video isn't about hating on a nation. It's about helping travelers make smarter, more satisfying decisions based on the climate we're in today. But for international travelers, especially those planning big milestone trips or long-haul holidays, it's important to go where your energy and effort are welcomed, not where they're questioned at the border or penalized with extra fees. 2025 is shaping up to be a landmark year for global travel. Don't let it be the year you overpay and underenjoy. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing. I've got an upcoming video walking you through the top 5 destinations to explore this year instead, full of insider tips, value hacks, and personal stories from each one. You deserve a trip that excites you, welcomes you, and makes every dollar and every moment count. Travel smarter. See more. And I'll see you in the next video.